Hey everyone, Pete from Abstract Ocean. Today we're installing a Frunk LED light which fits underneath the rubber with a seal and provides a good light casting into the trunk or frunk, sorry. I'll throw up some pictures now just showing you what the warm white looks like. So let's have a look at what's in the box first of all. So we get two of these connectors. And you'll see if I kind of hold those up to the camera, maybe put a bit of background on there. So one is more curved, one is more square, and this is the interface into the feed for the emergency release button at the front of your Frunk. So depending on the year of your Model 3, Model Y, you'll have one of these. This is a 23 Model Y, so we have the curvier one. These have been in play, I think, since sort of 2021 kind of time frame. The red wire connects off to the strip light. This is the strip light itself. You'll see in the front that we have, this is the cool white, so around about 6K in terms of temperature. We have a warm white, which is at 46K, give or take. Then we have blue and we have red. So I'm going to install the bright white one. And then we have the connector to the power supply that's coming off of the front switch. And then we have this earth cable as well. So this is going to go on one of the bolts that holds the latching mechanism for the Frunk. So, one more thing that I want to talk to you about. This ships 16 volt ready. If you have a 12 volt Model Y or Model 3, which typically is model year 2022 and earlier, it will still work just fine, but it'll be a little bit dimmer. If you want the maximum brightness from it, then there's actually a little control module that you can adjust. And let me just pop it open. So I'm just grabbing a little screwdriver, pop that open. And maybe you can see in there, again, if I hold it up to the camera, I can put my hand behind it. There we go, get in the light. So there's some little dip switches there. I'll flash up on the screen now the setting that you would need for a 12 volt Model 3 or Model Y. As I say, right now it's set to 16. If you have 16, you don't need to change anything. I'll pop this open. But if you have a 12 volt and you want the maximum brightness, you can adjust these switches. But as I say, it's totally fine without any adjustment. It's really just to get those last few lumens out if you want to just snap that back together. Okay, so with that we're going to get along with the other thing is included in the box, the little 10mm and 8mm wrench. I think you'll only need the 10mm end of it. We've had people mention before that the tools we supply aren't the best. No, they're not. Lots of people have 10mm wrenches at home. This isn't the sort of, this isn't heirloom products that your granddad would pass down to you, but it does the job if you need to, and I'll use this to do the job just to show it's up to it. All right, so with that, let's get started. Okay, I've emptied out the frunk. Here's all the stuff we're going to be using. First of all, I'm going to pop this off. This comes off very easily. Just kind of get your fingers under the top and just force it away, like so. So you'll see there's 3 clips at the top holding it on, and then these prongs that kind of sit in the plastic trim at the bottom there. So this is the emergency release switch. It's on right now. Just to note, this will time out after about 15 minutes. So if you plug your light in, it's not working, just press the button and it will reactivate it. And we are going to release the plug, which just means pushing down on the little release mechanism. And there we go. See that there? So as I mentioned, you get 2 of the essentially power taps. I'm going to be using the rounded one, which is this one again. So typically this is what you're going to be using for newer Model 3 and Model Y. Just going to slide that in. And then next up, I'm going to put that back into the release switch. Get it the right way around. There we go. Okay. So now we need to, we're going to test this before we install it, of course, just to make sure. So I'm going to hook up the earth or the ground in here, and then we'll connect it just to make sure it's working. So I've got my little 10mm wrench. You may have something different. If you have a 10mm socket, that'll probably make it a little easier, but in my experience, these haven't been too tight. So I'm going to loosen this. Okay, there it goes. Okay, don't need to do much. I'm going to put the little fork connector thing underneath. Just tighten it up a little bit with my hand. Obviously this is your latching mechanism for the frunk, so we want to make sure this is back to being nice and tight. That's pretty good. Okay, next I'm going to test everything, so I'm just going to plug this bullet connector into there. Okay, as you can see that lights up, so we know we're good, so now we can just run this. Pay attention to this, one side is lit, the other side is not. So obviously when you're installing it under here, you want to make sure you've got the light shining down rather than shining back up into the weather strip, because that won't be much use to you. So I'm just going to unwrap this while it's still lit up so I don't make any silly mistakes. Alright, so the way I'm going to go is like this. Just start here, tuck it up under, and for your first run around we just want to get it under there. We'll come back and tidy it up and make sure that it looks all neat and tidy and there's no exposed weather or light strip once we've got around here. So with that said, you kind of get the idea. I'm just using fingertips to fold back the weather stripping. We'll fast forward through this bit and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so you can see I've gone around the whole section now. You'll see there's bits sticking out, there's bits that aren't, so I'm just going to kind of fingertip my way around just to get it all up underneath the weather stripping or the weather seal. This will take a minute. But it's really easy to do. Actually getting up underneath the weather stripping is easy too, it's just kind of a tedious job. Okay, so we just want to tidy up this section now. I'm going to overlap it. You don't have to. I mean, you can. Basically, what's going to happen? We're going to hide any surplus in this panel. There's plenty of room to do that. But I'm just going to overlap this one little section. Going. I really just want the narrow wires going in here. And then once you've got that, we're going to just make sure you're not getting this behind this clip here. You can see that closed up easily. I'm going to turn it back on, light comes back on, and that's it. So as I mentioned, available in 4 colours in total. This is the cool white. I'll throw up all the photos next, so you can choose. Takes about 10 minutes to install. Thanks for watching.